Okay, we looked at how to make use of solid tools in SketchUp, how you can take a shape and subtract it from another shape. So I want to show you how you do that step by step. There's a couple of little tricks involved. I'm sharing my screen. We're looking at SketchUp. I've got a big ball here, and what I want to do is punch a square hole right through the middle of that, cuz. So you can decide how you want to do this. So I'm going to get my square here, and of course it'll want to draw it on the ground unless I tell it to draw it in the air. Use your left arrow tool and suddenly it will say, oh, you want to draw this standing up? We can do that. I can draw this thing standing in the air. It wants to snap to my circle. You see how it's rolling over that thing. That's okay, I don't care about that. I can make this however I want it. What I'll do is rotate around so I'm not getting that snappy snap effect. Rectangle tool for rectangle, and now it's like no problem. And I think what I'll do is force it to be a square by holding the shift key. Constrain on golden section, constrained on plane as a square. Doink. Now I'm going to get my push-pull tool, pull that out, make a thing that's long enough to go through my circle, my sphere. Triple click on this, and what I've got to do is make sure both of these things are either groups or components. Remember, when you make a group or a component, it like locks your item inside of a box, and then you have to double click to get into it. So that's what I want. I want each of these guys to be their own locked item inside their own box. So I just control click or right click and say make me a group. I don't have to name a group, I do have to name a component. Triple click on my sphere, do the same thing, make component, make group, doesn't matter. And there I've got my two objects. And if I rotate here, I go, yeah, it's in the right spot, except I want it a little bit higher than that. So what I think I'll do is grab that box. If I just click on it once now, I get that move tool, move it up on the blue axis until I'm there. I could, as you well know, go to camera and say turn off parallel projection, and then say camera, standard views, front, and now I've got a dead flat view of my box right in front of that. And then I can do things like I want to position this exactly in the center of that thing. So you can change the way that this thing looks in order to get a better view. This is a great way to do things like plan view, elevations. You can do those right in here in SketchUp by just changing from perspective to parallel projection and then playing with your standard views. I'm going to go back into perspective mode. I'm going to go with my orbit tool back down here and say, okay, I've got my two pieces hooked up the way I want them to be, except I want this square to be through the circle. Move tool on the green axis, stay on the green axis until it goes through. I want to just go back here and check. Did I make it long enough? Oh yeah, look at that, it's perfect. So now what I got to do is just say, subtract this thing from this thing. It does matter what order you select the items. It's a little crazy making. You can do this wrong. I've done it wrong many times. I might even do it wrong right now. Who knows? So I select the box and say, I want this to be the thing that I subtract from this. Shift click, second click. Okay. So I've got the box first, the circle, the sphere second, and then I go to my tools menu. There's my solid tools, and I say subtract me, and gadoinka. It says, is this what you want? 100% is what I want. So if that works for you, if you said you're making letter forms and you wanted to start with shapes and then punch holes in them to make, say, the counter of an A, this would be a terrific way to do that. I hope that makes sense for you. I look forward to seeing the beautiful things that you do with all these skills.